Good morning and welcome to Capital O TV's Derby Deep Dive. I'm Seth Merrow. Thanks for joining us. We have been plugged in every Friday morning this year leading up to the Derby, kind of talking about the important three-year-olds and three-year-old stakes races and previews and reviews of those stakes races, and it's been fun. And now we're a week away. It's right around the corner. A week from today will be, of course, the Kentucky Oaks, and then a week from tomorrow, the Kentucky Derby itself. Looking forward to it in the Triple Crown overall. Of course, the Belmont Stakes will be right up the road at Saratoga again, so that's going to be a lot of fun. But it's looking exciting because, again, we've been talking about it for a while now. The top 5, 6, everybody kind of agrees they're the ones to keep your eyes on. But you can point to a number of others in the field who are very interesting also. I think, in a 20-horse field, you're going to be able to find your odds and have a little bit of fun on Derby Day. No question about it. Looking forward to it. In anticipation, it seems like the favorite will be maybe 7-2, 4-1, and then it's just going to go up from there. That's what the conversation has been. And Nick Tammaro, who is making the morning line now, he's the new morning line man at Churchill after Mike Battaglia had been there for years. He retired. Nick Tammaro steps in now, and he said last week Renegade likely the favorite, and he was anticipating 7-2 or 4-1. So it's going to be fun and competitive, and I think we have a solid group. You can never really know until you get into summer and then into the fall when they start to face older. But I think this is a fairly solid group, certainly on the top end. Again, the 4 or 5 that everybody is talking about. And that group includes Renegade. And the Todd Pletcher trainee is being discussed as the likely favorite. And we caught up with Todd Pletcher. I actually got him on Tuesday because it just seemed like I contacted him early in the week, and I thought, probably going to be better to get him on essentially a non-race day, and that's the way it worked out. So I talked to him Tuesday afternoon. We had some Derby Oaks discussion. You'll hear that this morning, and then we threw in some other horses and topics as well. We'll add that tomorrow on Racing Across America. But today you'll hear about Renegade, certainly, Zany and She Be Smooth on the Oaks side. All from Todd Pletcher. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Todd Pletcher, trainer of the likely favorite in the Kentucky Derby, Renegade. Stay tuned.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
Happy to be joined now by trainer Todd Pletcher with Renegade coming up in the Derby. Todd, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Let me start out. Nick Tammaro, who's now doing the odds for Churchill and obviously the Derby, said last week that at this point, Renegade morning line favorite coming into the Derby. Does that add pressure, or is the Derby the Derby?
Yeah, I don't feel any added pressure if he's, 4-1 favorite versus 9-2 second choice, or, whatever, however it works out. I mean, it's the Derby, and we're going to feel the same excitement and pressure and all the things that go along with that, no matter what his odds are.
Um, let's talk a little bit about what we've seen so far from him. Showed some nice promise last year, certainly as a 2-year-old. He had that budding rivalry with Paladin. Unfortunately, Paladin goes to the sidelines, but now has come back as what looks like an improved 3-year-old in the first 2 starts, improved and improving. Talk a little bit about what you've seen from him 2 to 3 and so far in the 3-year-old season.
Yeah, I mean, I think the real thing is just, the way that he's closed in his races and the way he's finished, and I think Irad's kind of, found out the kind of trip that he's looking for, and he's ridden him very patiently and confidently.
The Puma looking for room in behind, then comes Game for it. Confessionals back to the inside, and Oselli Renegade takes over from Wayne's Law, who's a stubborn foe, but Renegade inching clear late. Renegade and Irad Ortiz Jr. to win the Sam F. Davis. They won it by 3 in the end.
But yeah, like I said, the thing that most impressive, I think, to everyone has been, the way, I think he came home in the Sam Davis, the final 16th and under 6, and then Arkansas Derby final 8th and under 12, and you don't see too many horses, period, much less early 3-year-olds do that, and that part's been very impressive.
Talk a little bit about that Arkansas Derby. Very visually impressive. It was kind of a wow moment as the trainer. What were your reactions to that?
Renegade, he's 6 now. He's 5 off the lead with Irad coming to the top of the stretch. Brickland's got a short lead now. Redland Rebels ahead behind. Silent Tactics moving up deep as they come off the turn. Taptastic right behind him, and Renegade is unlaunched on the 4 outside. Let's see what he's got for the final 3/16. Silent Tactic in front. Renegade way out in the center of the track, but he's coming with a burst. And here comes Renegade sweeping to the lead, and Renegade is drawing away in the Arkansas Derby. It's off to the Run for the Roses for Renegade in a dominating effort in the Arkansas Derby. How impressive was that?
Well, I'd spoken to Irad about, what we were going to do, and he just emphasized that, he was going to ride him patiently and confidently. And I was a little concerned down the backside, he was still pretty much had every horse in front of him at that stage. But, he started to creep his way forward, started making that move around the turn, had to go pretty wide. But you could tell once he got in the clear and leveled off down the stretch that he was really coming home strongly. And so, yeah, we were pretty excited about that.
Yeah, as I say, very visually impressive. Everybody was kind of a buzz about that one, and I think that leads into the potential favoritism in the Derby. So now, how's he come out of the race? And let's talk a little bit. We're taping this on Tuesday, so he's still got another work to come. But the work last week with Power Shift, talk a little bit about that workout and how he's come out of the Arkansas Derby.
Came out of it really well. It's a pretty good hike to go from Florida to Oakland and back. So, we were kind of looking at it and felt like, we're going to get 3 breezes or 2 breezes in between. And we felt like that 2 breezes would be enough. And we, also decided to stay here at Palm Beach Downs as long as we could. Just kind of, over the last couple of weeks, watching the 10-day forecast all the time, it looked like a little potential for rain on work days at Churchill and look clear here. So we just decided to stay home. He's been doing well here. He shipped from here to Tampa and ran well, shipped from here to Oakland and ran well. And then we just get our final prep in here, and then hopefully that'll set us up.
So what is the game plan for the rest of this week? The workout coming down in Florida, still the last big workout, and then head to Churchill. Is that the game plan?
Game plan is last big work here on Thursday at Palm Beach Downs, travel Friday to Churchill, and arrive very early Saturday morning at Churchill. And then he'll do just standard galloping, do some gate schooling, paddock schooling, that sort of stuff while we're in Louisville.
Talk a little bit about that. When you get there, you have to be there a week early, and what your game plan is when you get there as far as acclimating a horse to the track and that kind of thing. What is that week leading, and what are your plans when you get there?
Yeah, I mean, it's always different. In this case, since we are coming in, having our last breeze at Palm Beach Downs, that's going to be a little bit different. But, the main thing is just trying to get them acclimated to the new track and expose them to as much as you can. There's no way you can really totally prepare for, 150,000 people, but, we'll obviously do some paddock schooling, gate schooling, those kind of things. And, well, we've been fortunate. He's been very professional, straightforward. He's traveled well so far. So we're just hoping he continues to do that.
Yeah, he's been very impressive so far, no doubt about it. You talked about traveling to Arkansas and whatnot, and that got me thinking, just a nuts and bolts kind of thing I'm curious about. Is traveling like up and down the East Coast, from Florida to Arkansas, Florida to Churchill, Florida to New York, is that all van and you get on a plane if you're going to go cross country?
Well, in the case of obviously Tampa, he just van there. He'll
Yeah.
van to Louisville, but we actually flew from Miami to Memphis, and then had about a 3-hour van ride from Memphis to Oakland. So it's about an 11-hour trip, stall to stall, going FedEx. And we also flew him back. He flew back from Memphis to Fort Lauderdale, and so it just depends. It's not as easy getting flights as it used to be. Tech Sutton no longer is
Yeah.
operating, and they were sort of, that was their specialty. So we've had to be a little more creative.
I was curious about that. So, as you move this time of year, your horses from Florida back up to New York, most of those are on a van?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, have you moved into Oklahoma yet with horses?
No, we're actually going to have the first ones arriving there on April 25th.
Yeah, they just opened this week, beginning of this week up there. So the vans will definitely be coming in. I mentioned the last workout for Renegade was with Power Shift. Give us a little update on Power Shift, who started the career in that much talked about maiden race over at Tampa that was won by Emerging Market. Power Shift second. Emerging Market wins the Louisiana Derby. Power Shift wound up sixth in the Tampa Bay Derby. What might be next for him? Because again, there's some promise with that one as well.
Yeah, he's a colt we've always thought a lot of. He's ran very well in his debut. It turned out to be a super tough race. We finished third in a race with another horse who came back and won, Make My Day. So we're just going to regroup. He'll probably run in a maiden race at Churchill on Derby week.
Yeah, very good. Looking for him as well. All right, let's shift attention. Same weekend, but we'll go from the boys to the girls because you have a couple of really nice runners in Zany and She Be Smooth headed to the Oaks. Let's talk about those two. Zany coming out of a second place finish in the Ashland last time. What's she look like coming into the Oaks?
She's training great. Kind of Philly kind of cut the corner on her and got away from her at Keeneland, turning for home. And, with the short stretch, the finish line at the 16th pole, she just kind of ran out of time.
Percy's Bar just runs up to the inside and takes the lead as they turn for home. Zany still third toward the outside, and Star Actress is fourth. A breathtaking move off the far turn for Percy's Bar into the final furlong of the Central Bank Ashland. She's 4 lengths clear of Zany. Here's the wire. Percy's Bar wins it for Luan Machado. Zany was home second. And
we think she's in a position to move forward, and her first 3 races are all very impressive. I think if she shows up and runs a race, she's very live.
Again, another one getting a lot of buzz coming in, and that second place finish, people are thinking, man, maybe it'll add a little value to her. Certainly, She Be Smooth also started the career 2 big wins, and then the third last time in the Gulfstream Park Oaks. What are the thoughts on She Be Smooth?
I thought she ran really well in the Bonnadel and coming back in the Gulfstream Oaks, she found herself a little too far back behind a paceless, in a paceless race. I think she's a filly that'll benefit from hopefully the race setup of the Oaks with a big field and hopefully a lively pace. I think she's a filly that wants to kind of settle and make one run.
And again, they both have a lot of promise, obviously, off the early starts in the career. Looking forward to them in the Oaks. Todd, appreciate the thoughts. Certainly wishing you a lot of good luck about a week and a half down the road in the Derby and the Oaks, and we'll see you up in Saratoga.
All right, great. Thank you.
If you don't have a Capital OTB account yet, now is the time to log on and take advantage of the sign-up bonus. More details at capitalotb.com. Become a Capital OTB account member now and enjoy free past performances, wagering from any device, live streaming, racing info, contests, promotion and events, and more. So sign up now and take advantage of the new account bonus. Details at capitalotb.com.
Do you like free money? Well, Capital OTB gives its players plenty of opportunities to cash in. At Capital OTB, there are so many ways for horse players to receive bonus dollars by simply participating in promotions such as our bankrolls, bounty bets, online handicapping contests, and much, much more. Plus, with Capital OTB's Player Rewards program, you get actual cash back. So what are you waiting for? Log on today at CapitalOTB.com or CapitalOTBBet.com and claim your free money.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
And again, thanks to Todd Pletcher. As I say, that the interview actually went on a little longer. We hit on a couple other horses outside the 3-year-old division and some other topics as well. We'll air that tomorrow on Racing Across America. But again, we talked to him on Tuesday because, again, it's easier to get him awfully busy on race day. So we got him on what is essentially a non-race day and appreciate his time. But that meant we looked at the work from last week from Renegade. But again, as he said, when we talked on Tuesday, they were going to work one more time at Palm Beach Downs, and that happened yesterday, and I think we have some video from yesterday's work, which was also at Palm Beach Downs and was also with against Power Shift, so we can take a look at that video from the workout where Renegade is going to be on the outside here. Again, do we have that video of the Renegade work? I don't know. I am not hearing a response. But Renegade, according to the racing form, going over the, there we go, going over the demanding, as the racing form says, Palm Beach Strip. Again, in company with Power Shift. Renegade is on the inside here. And again, the racing form says both were kept well in reserve through an even pace breeze, wound up 50.84, and Renegade stuck his head out at the wire and maintained his advantage through the gallop out, as is noted on the in the racing form. So there was the last work for Renegade, and as Todd Pletcher said, they'll leave from Florida today and get in early tomorrow morning at Churchill. And you have to, I think everybody has to be in by tomorrow at some point, all the potential entrants. So there was Renegade. Also, Zany and She Be Smooth had workouts at Palm Beach Downs yesterday as well. Mike Welch wrote in the racing form, breezed in company. Zany was going easiest to the wire and was clearly best of the team on the run out. So they're both live, though, I think, in the Oaks as well. So, again, thanks to Todd Pletcher for taking the time, and more of that, again, tomorrow. Notable news over the past day or so, Stark Contrast has elected to go in the, I believe, the American Turf, but we'll stick to the Turf. That was the horse that was second in the Jeff Ruby, and running second in the Jeff Ruby, they had enough points to get into the Derby. So they were there on the list and hadn't quite made the decision. But Stark Contrast, again, second in the Jeff Ruby, was second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, had won Turf Stakes. More of a turf runner. But again, you get those points, and it's tough sometimes to ignore a shot at the Derby. But they have elected to go to the turf with that one. So Entropido gets in for Jeff Mullins. That one currently sitting at 17 now. And again, jumps in at the bottom of the list. And 17 is essentially bottom of the list. 18, 19, and 20 are the Japanese points getters and Middle East, UK points getters. Dan and Bourbon, Wonder Dean, and Six Speed. They're 18, 19, and 20. So Entropido gets in. And that leaves on the outside looking in Litmus Test currently is the first horse out, so to speak. He worked. Again, Mike Welch, and I hope to have Mike Welch on the show tomorrow to talk about some of the works. Mike's at Churchill, and obviously he's the guy who puts out the workout reports, he and some of the other racing forum folks put out the workout reports up in Saratoga. They do great work on the works. And so he's been in Churchill for a while. He noted that litmus test worked, I believe it was just yesterday. Worked in blinkers, going to race in blinkers if he gets in. Again, in litmus test currently the first one out. So we'll see how that plays out over the next, week or so. Well, less than a week, I think things will be decided as far as, also eligibles and whatnot. That gets decided much before race day with the Derby. Top 3-year-old poll, I've been looking at that as we've gone right along here on Derby Deep Dive, the 3-year-old poll from the NTRA, as you would expect. No real changes. It was a little funny, though. Essentially, no changes in the top 10. Top 5, Renegade, Commandment, Further Ado, The Puma, and So Happy. Same top 5 as last week, which there were no Derby preps last weekend, which makes it a little surprising. The second 5, Emerging Market is number 6, was number 6 last year. But Chief Wallaby and Silent Tactic flip-flop. Chief Wallaby is now 7. He was 8 last week. Silent Tactic was 7 last week, now 8. What made the voters switch from last? But Patente 9 and Full Effort 10. So somebody somewhere made a little switch down there, as they say, without having any 3-year-old prep stakes. It kind of strange that that change was made. Going to be interesting to see what Power Shift did. Power Shift, again, as I said to Todd, was in that the maiden race got a lot of buzz down at Tampa. It was the debut effort for both Emerging Market and Power Shift. They had a duel. Emerging Market just pulled away a little bit late. Emerging Market eventually comes back and wins the Louisiana Derby in his second start. Power Shift, they clearly liked the second place performance because coming off of that second in the debut, they went in the Tampa Bay Derby, didn't fare quite as well. And Todd said a maiden race is likely Derby week. So we'll look for Power Shift to be in the entries over there. And I haven't looked. Entries are out for a few days. I haven't really looked through yet, but it'll be interesting to see what he does getting back to the maiden ranks and, off the debut effort again in that race. As Todd said, coming out of the race, their third place finisher subsequently won the next start. So it was a salty maiden race. Power Shift going to be interesting to watch. So again, going to be looking at the entries there. All right, we will give you a little update on what's coming up here at Capital OTB. Entries are now open for our Derby bankroll. So Kevin Cox is going to have $2,500 to play on behalf of the bankroll team. 50 folks will get selected. You can get your chance to get on the team by going to capitalotb.com. Click on the promotions link, look for that graphic, click on that, and then fill out an entry form. We'll select the team. Still, I don't think we're going to close for a while yet, in a couple more days anyway. Sunday maybe we wrap it up. But you have a couple more days to put your name on and potentially get on the bankroll team. Kevin Cox will have some money to play on Oaks Day as well. Major portion of the bankroll will be Saturday Derby Day with a nice chunk of change also right on the Derby itself. So rooting for everybody that does make the team. Today, here at the Clubhouse Racebook, want to alert you that there's a player's bankroll here today. If you'd like to come down to the Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany, you will get a little chunk of change if you get on the team to play a race. You'll get a race and a little bankroll, and then the money that is made by the team members gets split up at the end of the day. Always a lot of fun. It is closing day at Keeneland today. There is also there's a carryover in the pick 6, and I had the number here, but I don't seem to have that note in front of me. But oh wait, I do. The Keeneland pick 6 carryover is $44,000. It's closing day. It's also a mandatory, so you can take your shot there. Pick 6 at Keeneland, $1,000 with a mandatory. There's a Pick 5 carryover at Laurel today as well, $12,000. So keep that in mind, some extra fun. Do want to also alert you, speaking of the Derby, tomorrow up at the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame, our friends Tom Amello and Mike Veach will have a Derby seminar. That's tomorrow, National Museum of Racing, right across Union Avenue from the racetrack, 11 a.m. tomorrow. Also, speaking of the Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame, we hope to have, we will have Brian Boyer on with us tomorrow from the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame, because yesterday the 2026 inductees to the Hall of Fame were announced. John Sheriffs, Christophe Clement, and Kona Gold will go in. We'll talk about that and some of the other, historical entrants and whatnot that are going to get in. And also some museum events. There's some nice events coming up over the next few weeks at the museum. So we'll talk about that tomorrow with Brian. As they say, we hope to get Mike Welch to talk about workouts leading into the Derby, and Todd Pletcher, more of that interview tomorrow as well. That's Racing Across America at 10 a.m. Also tomorrow, do want to alert you, there's an early post time at Gulfstream, 12:05, but more notably tomorrow, a mandatory pay in the Rainbow Six at Gulfstream. So plenty of action coming up. Oh, and speaking of coming up, I mentioned the Hall of Fame seminar with Tom Amello and Mike Veach tomorrow. We will have our Capital OTB seminar next Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock next Wednesday, the annual Capital OTB Derby seminar. Kevin Cox, Anthony Mormino, and myself will be in here, and it will be live here on Capital OTB TV, but also on our social media channels, so the YouTube channel and whatnot. You can watch it. That's 7 o'clock next Wednesday, the annual Capital OTB Derby seminar. So Derby fever. Hopefully you're feeling it. I think if you're not yet, you will in the next few days, because again, it looks like it's going to be a fun, competitive race, and we'll certainly play into some of the Saratoga action, because again, the Belmont is up here, and then later on Jim Dandy and Travers, and a lot of these will be players up there. But in the meantime, Kentucky Derby just a little over a week away. All right, I'm going to wrap it up for this edition of Derby Deep Dive. It's been fun to kind of go along the Derby trail every week and keep up with the 3-year-olds as we have marched to this coming week. And now we're here, 1 week away. The countdown has started. We'll have plenty of discussion about it over the next week as well. But happy you tuned in this morning, and we'll see you next time. We'd like to thank Woodbine for their sponsorship of this program and some of the other programming and events here at Capital OTB. Woodbine open now through December, featuring great racing, including the King's Plate coming up in August, Turf Champions Day with the Woodbine Mile in September, and much, much more. Woodbine Racing, great racing north of the border.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off-Track Betting.